Welcome back to our IdahoSports.com season preview for the high school volleyball season. Brandon Baney joined by Lynnsie, Togiai, Ah-Fook, our volleyball expert. Lynnsie, thank you for doing this.
Of course, love to talk volleyball and love to talk about every team.
Yes, we are going to cover almost every team in this preview for the 4A classification. This used to be called 3A. It's now 4A volleyball, but there are so many good teams in this classification. I don't know where to start, except I guess we'll start at the top with the defending state champs from Fruitland. Gosh, they are so good. So good, right?
They've been a good program for a long time. And even though they didn't win their district last year, but they still went to state and then they won state, right? That's when it all matters. Um, and I think that just showed their perseverance. They didn't forget, their main goal. They still got to state and then they won state. And I think there were times too when they just struggled a bit finding the right team dynamic because they were trying, different rotations with different players. But then, finally found the right one. And again, that whole team persevered and they are a fun team to watch.
Yeah, Fruitland is led by Brooke Hardy. She was the 3A volleyball player of the year for the entire state as a freshman. She's now a junior outside hitter. Eva Wall is back on the outside as well. And then Alexi Drollinger controls the middle at setter as well. That's a good trio to start there for Fruitland. Look at how crazy this conference is. You've got the defending state champs in Fruitland. You've got McCall Donnelly, who took fourth at state last year. You have Weiser, who lost the state play-in game, but could have gotten there. And then Cole Valley Christian, which took third at the Class 3A level, they moved up a level this year. So you've got four teams that were basically at state last year.
Oh, that is interesting. Cole Valley Christian was what level before?
The old 2A, and now
okay.
They and Melba were going head to head all the time. So
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, they were a good team. Oh, that is interesting. That's new for them.
yes.
But that's good because, you get too used to seeing the same players, the same teams, the same things that they can do. And, that just becomes a game plan. So it's good that they're having different teams in their district.
Yes. So McCall Donnelly took fourth at state last year. They did lose the conference player of the year in Gabby Green. She was so fun to watch. She was such a great player. But they do return the Arnold girls, Shyla, Lexi, and Riley. All are seniors. There's a set of quadruplets at McCall Donnelly, two boys, two girls. And then there's like some cousins that are thrown in there too. So between like football and volleyball, there's like 6 or 7 Arnolds running around. Yes.
That's funny. That's cool though.
Yeah, it's cool for McCall Donnelly. So the 3 Arnold girls are all back. So I think McCall Donnelly is going to be pretty good again this year. Weiser just missed out on state. They bring back Paisley Neuer and Maddie Wilkins, 2 really good seniors. And then you've got like Payette brings back Brinley Perry and Olivia Dennison. And then you've got Emmett, which dropped down from 5A to 4A. I got to be honest. I think Emmett would have had an easier time if they had stayed put. I think this is a tougher league than that 5A conference, right?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think they just kind of fell into a more like loaded district that just kind of took good teams from both ways.
Yeah,
That's funny, but well, I mean, yeah, Fruitland and then McCall Donnelly already stayed, and they're already good programs. But then adding the others just made it even harder. I mean, better competition.
Yeah, I don't know where Emmett's going to fit in all of this. It's a very tough league, for sure. The team I thought was going to win state going into it last year was Snake River. They got all the way to the finals. They fell to Fruitland in a pretty close competition. So let's go to Snake River next in their district, at District 5, the Southeast Idaho Conference. They do bring back setter Aiden Anderson. She was an all-conference performer as a junior, but they lost some high-impact athletes to graduation. What do you think about Snake River this year?
They did. Yeah, I think they lost, like you said, some high-profile players for them. But I think it's not a rebuilding year. I think they still remain with some key players too that maybe weren't as noticed last year. And then there's actually some younger players too coming in that I think step in just as well for them. So I think with their program as well, they are still in the run.
Okay, a reload instead of a rebuild. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Marsh Valley also got to state last year. They went 2-0. They bring back Brooklyn Foster in the middle and setter Callie Dalkey. Brooklyn Foster's got pretty good size in the middle. What do you think about Marsh Valley this year?
Um, how many do they take that district?
This district is going to send to state two, two
Two.
teams.
And is Preston also in this now?
Yes, Preston is in this conference.
Okay, I think it's gonna be tough. I think Snake River usually wins it. Not jinxing them, just saying they've had a good program and they usually take district. And then Preston coming down, from Pocatello and Century, they they don't they don't always make it to state, obviously from that district, but I think they have a good shot here.
Okay. And then, Marsh Valley is good. American Falls always has potential. It wasn't that long ago that American Falls had a really good program. They bring back Berkeley, Ferringer, and
Yeah.
Sarai Povey. And then further adding to it is not only are you bringing Preston from a higher level, but Bear Lake,
Yes.
which, yes, they got to the 2A state tournament last year. Now what was 3A, they've moved up. And so Bear Lake brings back Brindley Birch, Sadie Shaw, Hallie Wells. This is a kind of a loaded conference here.
It is now.
Yeah.
Bringing in Bear Lake and Preston, adding to Snake River, I think. I mean, and again, Marsh Valley sometimes has those runs in American Falls too, but adding Bear Lake, they've had a dominant program in the 2A scene for a long time. And then, Preston, again, they haven't really had their, a great shot when they were with 4A, but when they back before that, when they were 3A in this same district, they did dominate there for a while as well.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Only 2 spots available at state. There are several worthy contenders.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one to sort out. Let's go to District 4, the Sawtooth Central Idaho Conference, home to the Kimberly Bulldogs, who took home third place last year. They won the championship 2 years ago. They do bring back Mallory Kelsey. She was the conference MVP. She's a great outside hitter, and she's a senior. Emerson Heatwall, senior libero, is back as well. Kimberly, I think, is going to be in a pretty good spot to get back to state.
I agree. I think Kimberly's always up in there in that mix as well. I think they're one to watch. You said they won it 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay. And they got third last year?
Third last year. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. I think they have the potential to do just as good or better this year. Yeah, Kimberly's always had a good program, but they've pretty much consistently always stayed like in 3A or what used to be 3A, right?
Yeah, they don't move much. They're pretty much
Yeah.
locked in. So
Yeah. Okay.
yep. There are 1.5 bids available to state this year. Whoever takes second from this district will play the third place team from District 3. That's that league with Weiser and McCall and Fruitland and Coal Valley. So it might be tough for that second place team. But Filer did get to state last year. They got to the consolation bracket. They bring back Reese Hills, senior middle hitter. Buell brings back one all-conference performer as well, and Addie Volgamore, the sophomore. But I don't know. I think it's going to be tough for that second place finisher to get to state.
I agree. Because both of those teams though lost a few key pieces as well, that are moving on to college, that I know of from Filer and Buell. So I think you're right. I think it's going to be a tough path for the second place team.
Yeah, we will see. Good luck, though. That's for sure.
Yes.
Let's go to the north, the Intermountain League. This is District 1. It's just the 2 teams. It's Bonners Ferry. It's Timberlake. It seems like they kind of trade off, who's appearing at state and who isn't. There is 1 spot available this year to the state tournament. Bonners Ferry got it last year. They got to the consolation bracket. They bring back Helen Ray, senior outside hitter, and a really good sophomore in Taryn Bateman. She tore it up on the basketball court as a freshman last year as well. But she's a great outside hitter for Bonners Ferry also.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. it's kind of a situation where, like I said, they play each other so much, they kind of just know how each other plays. So it just really comes down to who makes less mistakes in that situation because they know the other team's plan, they know their plan. There's really not much mixing it up when you have such a small district.
Yeah, and Timberlake does bring back more all-league players: Diana Nelson, Mariana Olivieri, and Isabel Tor. But I still like Bonners Ferry. I think they've got a good program in place. But really, it's a coin flip up there. It could be either team. It wouldn't really surprise me to see either one. But
True.
all right, let's wrap up in District 6 over in East Idaho, where for the first time in a long time, Sugar Salem did not get to state last year, Lynnsie. They lost the state play-in game. It was South Fremont who won the district. And then they had all this momentum. They went 2-0 at state, but they still had a great season. And this, all three of these teams, South Fremont, Sugar Salem, and Teton, bring back several all-conference players. This league is pretty liberal with its handing out of all-conference players. Basically, if you contributed to the team, you're probably going to get at least an honorable mention all-conference. So these lists are a little deeper, but
Yeah.
I like South Fremont on paper, but I'll be honest, what I've been hearing from a lot of people in East Idaho is that, Sugar Salem is back. What do you think?
I think that's tough. I think that those three teams all have the potential there. I'm not quite sure on that yet. I need to see them play. Um, they they all bring back a few players that I know of, and we saw them playing in club together as well. All three teams in that conference. So I think they're getting the experience they need together, building their program. Yeah, that's a tough one for me. I think it could be any of them. Sugar has been, again, the dominating district champ in that conference, but I think they all are bringing a good team this year.
Yes. Sugar returns the conference player of the year in junior Tasha Larson. Also, Ashlyn Harris, Elisa Hawks, and Sarah Miller. They all made the first team all conference team. South Fremont brings back 3 first team all conference performers in Allie Hackworth, Tori Hathaway, and Kensley Neville. And Teton brings back 2 first team all conference performers in Elisa Kaufman and Miranda Strong. So basically, 2 people graduated from the first team all conference last year.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I said. I think that one's gonna be good too. I'm not sure on that one.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to see all 3 of those teams duke it out. So that is our 4A state volleyball preview. Again, teams we're keeping an eye on: Timberlake, Bonners Ferry up north, flip a coin. It all comes down to who plays well in that best of 3 district championship. District 3 is loaded. Fruitland, McCall Donnelly, Cole Valley Christian, Weiser, all in the mix to get to state from there. We like Kimberly from District 4. And then over in East Idaho, Snake River, Bear Lake, Preston, all going to be competing in District 5. And then any of the 3 from District 6, right? South Fremont, Sugar Salem, Teton.
It's going to be tough. And they only take one? I'm
guessing.
guessing they only take one? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
1.
Okay. Yeah. I think those 3 teams are good. That's tough.
It is an exhaustive list of contenders this year at the 4A state tournament level. But Fruitland, I still think, is the favorite coming in as the defending champs overall. But man, there's going to be a lot of good competition to see who gets to join them at state potentially. So thank you for tuning in to our 4A state volleyball preview special here on IdahoSports.com.